Alright, this is your chapter 7 review. So here we go. On number 1, it says simplify y to the 5th power times y to the 10th power. Whenever you multiply, you add your exponents. So this is just y, 5 plus 10. 5 plus 10 gives you 15, so this is y to the 15th power, and that is C. Okay, number 2, this one when you have the exponent power to a power, you multiply. So this is b, 4 times 6. 4 times 6 is 24. Alright, number 3 says simplify, assume the denominator is not equal to 0. So whenever you divide, you subtract your exponents. So 9 minus 4 is 5. Okay, number 4, a rectangle has a length of 5x cubed and a width of 3x squared. Find the area. So here's my rectangle, my length is 5x cubed. My width is 3x squared. To find the area, I'm going to do my length times width. So I have 5x cubed times my 3x squared. Okay, so 5 and 3 I'm going to multiply. And then whenever you have exponents, when you multiply, you add them. So that's going to be 3 plus 2. 5 times 3 is 15. 3 plus 2 is 5. So there's no units on here, so area is equal to 15x to the 5th power. Right? Number 5, it says simplify, assume the denominator is not equal to 0. So again, whenever you divide, you subtract exponents. So m6 minus 2 is 4. r2 minus 3 is a negative 1. Okay, you can't have this negative exponent here, so that has to go in the denominator. So this is m to the 4th power. I'm going to put r to the 1st power in the denominator, and again, you don't have to write the number 1. That's your invisible number, so the answer for this would be B. Okay, number 6 says express this in scientific notation. I'm going to put my decimal right here between the 3 and the 4. So I have 3.4 times 10, and I'm going to count how many bunny hops I do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And because it's a small number and because I moved to the right, it's going to be negative. And so your answer for this one is going to be J. Okay, number 7, we're going to have to multiply. So we have 7 times 2.4, and then we have times, I'm going to actually, instead of x, I'm going to put a dot here, times 10. Whenever you multiply, you add exponents, so 8 plus a negative 4. Okay, so then we have 7 times your 2.4, and so 7 times your 2.4 gives you 16.8. Times 10, 8 minus 4 is just 4. Now, if you notice your answers, you're only allowed to have one number in front of your decimal for scientific notation. So I'm going to have to move this over. Okay, so you have 1.68, and we have to decide if it's times 10 to the 4th or times 10 to the 5th. Whenever you do your scientific notation, so let's say you have 0, 1, 3. Whenever you move it this way to the right, okay, remember that's 1.3 times 10 to the negative because it's small, so that'll be a negative 2. And whenever, so we are subtracting because it's small. Whenever you have a number like 2.1 and move it over this way, you have 0.121 times 10. Because it's a bigger number, we moved it over twice. So when you move it over to the left, you're going to add 1. And so this will be 1.68 times 10 to the 5th power, which is your C. You can also put this in your calculator and see which one it gives you. Okay, number 8, you can just put that into your calculator. And okay, so for this, you have 16 to the power of 2/4. Oh, that's just 16 to the power of half. Just type it into your calculator, 16 caret key 2 divided by 4, and on your calculator, it will come out to be 4. Again, this you can just put it into the calculator. And so when you put in the calculator, you have to hit the caret key, and then you do parentheses 2 divided by 4. Okay. This next one, we have simplify. N6 squared, and we have r to the 4th, r to the 4th. When you multiply, you add the exponents, so we have 6 plus 2. And then my r, I have 4 plus 4. So when I simplify that, 6 plus 2 is 8. 4 plus 4 is 8. Okay, next one, which equation corresponds to the graph shown? So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at where my asymptote is, and my asymptote is right here. That's where it barely crosses, or it doesn't ever cross right there at my y equals -2. And because that's negative, I can automatically eliminate f and j. Because see, these have the +2 back here, and my asymptote's at -2. So what you want to do is you go to your y equals, and you can type in the equation. So you have 2 caret key x minus 2. You can hit your graph and hit graph, and you will notice that it's growth. Okay, or you can type in y equals the 1/2 caret key the x to the x power. Sorry, to the x power. And when you do that and you hit -2, you can hit your graph and notice that is decay. So the correct answer for this one is going to be H. So again, all you're doing is you're plugging these into y equals and then looking at your graph on your calculator. That's it. Okay. Here we go. Next one was the y-intercept on the graph shown. So here you're looking at your y-axis where it crosses, and where it crosses at is right at this point, and that point there is 0, 1. So your y-intercept is going to be 0, 1. Okay. Next one, it says a chess tournament starts with 16 people competing. The exponential function y equals 16 times 1/2 to the power of x describes how many people are remaining in the tournament after x rounds. How many people are left in the tournament after 3 rounds? So all you have to do here, y equals 16 times 1/2 to the power of, instead of x, okay, here x is going to equal to 3 because you have 3 rounds. So to the third power, so just type it in the calculator, 16 parentheses 1 divided by 2, caret key 3, hit enter, and you will have 2 people are left after this. Okay, next one, the population in New York City increased from 8 million in 2000 to 8,168,000 in 2005. Annual rate of population increase for the period was about 0.4%. Predict the population in New York City in 2015. Okay, so remember I told you to remember art, and I'm going to have to make this bigger. Whoops, did not want to do that. I'm going to have to make this a little bit bigger. So if you can remember art, A is your initial amount. So we have 168,388 people. R is my rate. Okay, remember it can't be a percent, so you move the decimal over. So 0.004. T is my time. Okay, so I was looking at 2005 to 2015. That gives me 10 years. Okay, it is increasing. It tells you right here. So since it's increasing, we're going to use our growth equation. So 1 plus r to the power of t. And go ahead and plug in my answers. So what I know, 8,168,388. 1 plus 0.004 to the power of 10. And when I plug that in, so I have 816,8388. 1 plus 0.004 to the power of 10. You get 8,501,000. And we'll do 68 because it says 0.9 on your calculator is what you get. So we're going to round up because you can't have decimals for people. And so that's how many people we're predicting in 2015. Alright, next one, if y equals 10 times 2.5 to the power of t represents the number of bacteria in a culture at time t, how many will there be at time t equals 5? So this little t, we're just replacing with 5. So y equals 10 times 2.5 to the power of 5. So 10 parentheses 2.5 to the power of 5. That gives us 976.56. And we'll round that up to 977. All right, 15. 60,000 piece of machinery depreciates in the value or in value at a rate of 11% per year. About what will its value be in 3 years? So again, just remember art. Initial amount was 60,000. Rate. Okay, gotta make this into a decimal. So when I look at this, my decimal's here. Move it over twice. So I have 0.11. Time is saying what it will be in 3 years, okay? Because it depreciates, that means it's decreasing. You're going to use your decay formula. So instead of a plus, we use a minus. Plug in what we know. So 60,000, 1 minus 0.11 to the power of 3. Okay, and we're going to type this in. So 60,000, 1 minus 0.11 to the power of 3. And you get 42,298.5 0.14. And because we're talking about money, it's okay to have those decimals there at the end. All right, number 16 says simplify. So before we can do anything, we're going to have to distribute this 3 to everything inside and this 2 to everything inside. So I'm going to rewrite it. We have 4 squared. We have a power to a power, so we're going to multiply. Power to a power, don't forget there's a 1 in there, so we're going to multiply. Okay, and then, so this is all one thing. Okay, and then I have negative 3 to the third power. Then we have power to a power, so we're going to multiply. We have power to a power, so we're going to multiply. Okay, so let me go ahead and reduce this. 4 squared, 4 times 4 is 16. 2 times 2 is 4. 1 times 2 is 2. So we're going to multiply all of that by what we get over here. So negative 3 to the third power is negative 27. 5 times 3 is 15. And 2 times 3 is 6. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and we're going to multiply these big numbers. So 16 times negative 27 gives you negative 432. Okay, I'm looking at W's now, so I'm looking at these W's right here. Whenever you multiply, you add. So 4 and 15 give us 19. Okay, and then I'm looking at my R's. Whoops, I don't want to do purple. Let me get, there we go. Okay, and then we're going to look at our R. So I have R squared and R to the 6th power. So 2 plus 6 is 8, so R to the 8th power. Nothing else you can combine or simplify, so that's it. Okay, number 17, we are going to divide these. So we divide, you subtract. So 5 minus 2, and n 3 minus 6. So m 5 minus 2 is 3, so m to the third power. 3 minus 6 is a negative, so n to the negative 3 power. Again, okay, you can't have negative exponents right here, so that has to go to the denominator to become positive. So n to the third power over n to the third power, which is 8. Okay, 18. So here we're going to go ahead and distribute this 3 to everything inside and the 2 to everything inside. So you have z power to the power, you multiply. W power to the power, you multiply. Denominator, z power to the power, you multiply. W power to the power, you multiply. So that gives us 2 times 3 is 6. Negative 1 times 3 is negative 3. Z, 3 times 2 is 6. And W, 2 times 2 is 4. Okay. Remember I told you if you have the same thing on top as in bottom, you can cross those out. Because 6 minus 6 is 0. Anything to 0 power is 1. So basically that's gone. So all we have left is W negative 3 minus 4. So that's W to the negative 7th power. And you can't have negative exponents, so we just put that over 1. Alright, number 19. Okay, I'm going to put my decimal, do not want that up there. I'm going to put my decimal right after the 8. So I have 8.04 times 10. I'm going to count how many I move. So 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 4. That's it. And the last, I think this is the last one. Yep, last one. Okay, we're dividing. So you have 6.08 divided by 3.8. And you're going to times that by 10. When you divide, you subtract. So 6 minus a negative 2. Remember, minus a negative becomes positive. So 6.08 divided by 3.8 is 1.6 times 10. 6 plus 2 is 8. And you can always check in your calculator your answers, okay? So like I said, I went through that really, really fast because I don't have a whole lot of time to make these videos. So I went through that pretty quickly. You can always go back and pause it, rewind it, whatever. And we went over this on, or are going to go over this on Monday. So if you have any questions, just let me know.